religion, and here we speak as many as more than 50 languages in this country. But since we are in Buganda, for those who have come from miles away, when we come back from the break, meaning welcome back. So as we get to settle in, we are now going to hear from our next speaker, who is he's the Managing Director of the National Social Security Fund, and is based on building sustainable futures and partnering for inclusive social protection and economic growth. He has a presentation, and as he comes here, I'll just tell you a few things about Patrick. So Mr. Patrick Michael Ayota, like I said, is the Managing Director of the National Social Security Fund, appointed 2023. But before that, he served as the fund's Managing Director since 2017, also as the Chief Finance Officer in 2011. He also holds several key leadership roles, including the Chairman Board of Directors at the New Vision Group, Non-Executive Director at Housing Uganda, and the Chairperson at ISSAA, Liaison Office for East Africa, amongst the many things he does. So come with me, Mr. Patrick Ayota, for the next presentation.
Good afternoon. I know we have a very hard task. After we've just come from outside and you are settling in, you have to listen to another speech, another presentation. It's something that you may not like. So I'm going to do something slightly different. So Your Excellency, Ambassador, Honorable Minister, all protocols observed. So I'm just going to take you through a brief presentation. I have it in 3 parts. The first part is the voice of the Ugandan. The next part is the voice of data. And the last part is going to be the voice from the UAE. Now you may say, excuse me, but you're Ugandan, what do you mean the voice from the UAE? Okay, just stay with me. We'll get there as we see it. I hope this can work. Is it? Oh, good. I wanted to show you, share something about Uganda. They may have told you, right smack in the middle of Africa is Uganda. What most people have not realized is that from Entebbe Airport to Cairo is 3.5 hour flight. From Entebbe to Lagos in West Africa is a 3.5 hour flight. From Entebbe to Johannesburg in Southern Africa is a 3.5 hour flight. It means this: if you have an establishment in Uganda, within 3.5 hour flight, you reach 3/4 of Africa as a market for your produce. This is what some people say about Uganda. Now, this is an interesting document. You may not be able to read it, but let me just go through it. This document was produced in 1946 by a gentleman by the name Wadington. And he said this was a development plan for Uganda. He quotes on the cover of that document Winston Churchill in 1904. So I'm just going to read what Winston Churchill said in 1904 when he visited Uganda. Now, for some of you Ugandans who don't really believe this guy came to Uganda. We didn't have roads. We didn't have the railway lines, no industry, nothing. But this is what he says about Uganda. When he saw the last sentence, my counsel plainly is this: concentrate upon Uganda. Nowhere else will the results be more brilliant, more substantial, or more rapidly realized. This guy sees Uganda in 1904. And that's what he says, that focus on Uganda. Nowhere else will the results be more substantial than you have. So Winston Churchill called it the Pearl of Africa. In Uganda, what we said, the biggest thing we have in Uganda, by the way, no offense to Dubai, is our weather. It's either hot or cool. And it's either hot and wet, or it's hot and dry and cool. So just call it sunshine. Brighted guys named Uganda the #1 tourist destination in Africa in 2024. That was last year. But what's amazing about that is, on that list, the #1 country is Switzerland. So just think about that. In this global ranking of the best tourist destinations in the world, there's Switzerland, then there's #2, #3, we won't mention it, and Uganda. BuzzFeed in 2023 said, Uganda is the 13th most beautiful country in the world. I disagree. I think we are #2. But I didn't write the article. So we won't argue about those petty little wording and ranking. But either way, this is what they said about us. We are the home of Lake Victoria, as you have been told. The largest number of mountain gorillas are in Uganda. And if you're from Rwanda here, you may say it's in Rwanda. Long time ago, our president decided that, we're going to have visa-free borders. So we removed the visa requirements for gorillas to cross into Rwanda or to cross back from Rwanda. So the Rwandese think there are more gorillas in Rwanda, but those are Ugandans who have just gone across and come back. The Nile, the longest river in the world. The largest number of bird species. This other one here, I really want to talk about, the tree-climbing mountains. Only in Uganda, please, if you go to the national park and a lion begins to chase you, the traditional knowledge is climb a tree. Not in Uganda. Please, run as fast as you can, because that lion will climb the tree right after you. A land of contradictions, that the Rwenzori, which is smack in Uganda, on the tropics, along the equator, also has got snow on its peak. We, the people, love to work hard. We pray earnestly. We honor our traditions. Please get a chance to enjoy our unique cuisine. We create champions. All we do, if you're from Kenya here, a few years ago, would be the one behind that guy running. After a while, they're running right after us. Now the rest of the East Africans can't even see us anymore. And now the Kenyans try to say, no, those are our cousins who crossed over there. No, my friend. When you were winning, they were not your cousins. But now this is what we have. And then we dance like there is no tomorrow. You can get to and across Uganda on Uganda Airlines, the expressways, get on a boat to Kalangala. You can enjoy a walk. You can get on a motorcycle in Uganda, the borders, or you can just ride a bicycle. Either way, you can get across this country as easily as you need. You can choose to stay at a hotel like this one or Serena. You can get a 5-star lounge like in Barara. Choose a simple African hut, or just enjoy an outdoor tent. So if you really feel like it, come with your tent. I know when I went to Dubai one time, the first time in my life, I was hosted in a tent, in an air-conditioned tent. And I had never figured out that a tent can have air conditioning. I think if you brought it here, you would have some wonderful things to do. So that is kind of a glimpse of my... That's a glimpse. Okay? No, that's a glimpse of my son Uganda. That's the voice of the Ugandan. Now I got the voice of data. This data will actually surprise you. This is what our data tells us. Now, for you business people, Uganda is a net importer of goods and services and uses the USD as its main international trading currency. Because the Uganda shilling is a free floating currency, there are no foreign exchange controls. Somebody you had today, you can come with $100,000 in the morning, live with it in the afternoon, or live with $1 million in the afternoon. There are no foreign exchange controls. You can basically move this currency in and forth, keep it in Uganda currency, or keep it in the USD. The long-term exchange rate between the dollar and the Uganda shilling reflects the state of the economy in a free floating currency. So when we begin to look at this, this is the chart over the last 5 years that shows the exchange rate between the Uganda shillings and the dollar. Over the last year, and I ran this number up to yesterday, this is the 27th of October. Over the last 5 years, the Uganda shilling, or the USD, the dollar, has depreciated against the Uganda shillings. The Uganda shilling has actually strengthened against the dollar. The implication is this: if you came into this country with $10,000 5 years ago, exchanged it into Uganda shillings, and yesterday you exchanged it back to the dollar, you would end up with $10,695, $695 more than when you came in, because the Uganda shilling strengthened in that process. By the way, when you extend that to, when you extend it to 10-year period, the Uganda shilling appreciated against the dollar by 1.9%. In other words, regardless of what you think, especially when you're Ugandan, this currency that's freely floating, that's not subject to the controls by the government, has held its value against the dollar. If you're a businessman, it means if you had come in this country 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the last thing you could worry about was what we call the foreign currency risk exposure. There was none. And that's a good thing for an economy. So I went ahead and said, okay, how about against the dirham, the UAE dirham? How did it do? Now you have to understand that the Uganda shillings does not trade directly with the dirham. We use the dollar as the cross currency. So when you have the dollar, when you go to an exchange rate, they basically exchange your shillings to the dollar first, then they exchange the dollar into the dirham. You have what's called a cross rate. So what does that data tell us? Again, reflecting exactly the dollar, and this is an interesting story, that when you look at the dirham against the dollar, it also depreciated against the Uganda shillings by about 7%. Same amount that the USD depreciated against the Uganda shillings for. When you look at over 10 years, 1.9%. Now, what that means is this. When you look at the economies of the UAE and the USD, and you look at the economy of Uganda, and you compare them, and you look at those cross rates, because there's a good direct match between the exchange rate movement between the USD and the UGX, and the AED, the dirham, against the UGX, and there's a perfect match. That means there are no what we call economic disruptions between the economies of Uganda and the UAE. You can pretty much predict how the Uganda economy is going to behave by just looking at your cross currency or the currency rates exchange between the dirham and the USD in that case, because we don't have these natural disruptions that can cause that. And that's what it means over the last 10 years as we do it. So I said, okay, maybe let's just compare to the neighborhood. The Egyptian pound. Same period, 5 years' time, the Egyptian pound depreciated against the dollar by 202%. Which means if you had $10,000 put it in Egypt and you took the money out yesterday, you'd have lost 200%. You'd only take home with you $8,000 if that's what you had done. Here's the South African rand, which is the other major currency. It depreciated against the dollar by about 5%. And when you measure this, the different currencies, the major currencies in Uganda, whether it's Naira, whether it is the Kenya shillings and so on, you'll find that the only currency that held its value as a reflection of the state of the economy is the Uganda shillings. Now, we don't expect that to change at all coming in the near future. In fact, what we think is the Uganda shilling is going to even appreciate more because the economy is becoming stronger and stronger. Which means, from an investor's perspective, I run a pension fund, NSSF. Guess what our currency of safety is today in NSSF? It's the Uganda shillings. So we are trying to buy as much, invest as much in the Uganda shilling as we can because our expectation is it's going to strengthen going down the valley. So in terms, if you think about, if you're from the UAE and you want to invest, maybe come now, don't wait later. Because if you wait later, the shilling may be too strong for you to be able to think that you want to do. So the data shows that the shilling is stable and does reflect the following perceptions. Economic policies are fine. Monetary policy has been relatively effective. And this was actually by the Abu Dhabi. It was named the best investment destination in Africa by AIM Congress in Abu Dhabi. That was in 2024. So now I got to the last one, the voice of the UAE. Now this is where I need you guys to stay with me. I found an amazing document on the UAE website. It's called the UAE's National Security Strategy 2051. You guys take a time, read that document. It tells you the thought process of the leaders of the UAE, recognizing a problem they have and what they need to do to solve that problem. And my argument is going to be, you can make Uganda part of the solution that you are thinking about. So let's walk through it and we'll see. That strategy says the UAE aims to increase domestic food production to 50% by 2051. Right now, they're around 20%. So 80% of the food that comes to the UAE today is imported. And that subjects the whole country to potential disruptions that could occur. So their strategic plan is this: we need to increase our domestic food production to 50% by 2051. Number two, and what they want to do is basically, the way they are going to do it, look at them, they want to pioneer things, vertical farming, organic farming, hydroponics, because they want to try to do, how do they overcome this harsh weather they have? And they want to experiment with all this. Now, the strategy also internationally is doing something. Internationally, they're now looking for commercial partnerships, farmland acquisitions, to create new supply chains, all aimed at securing a safe supply of food import, not interrupted by local, regional, or international crises. I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. The strategic goal of this pillar is to strengthen local manufacturing capability and facilitate the warehousing and storing of raw materials. This is what that document says. So, fellow Ugandans, if this is what the document says, what can we do? I call it a convergence of destinies, the UAE and Uganda. 50% domestic food production by 2051 will still leave the UAE subject to supply chain disruption, because that means you still have to import the other 50%. So whether you want to or not, you're still subject to supply disruptions that could occur. I don't know what they already told you about Uganda, whether it's the climate, whether the soils, whether it is what you need. It's the only place where you can actually have 2 seasons of a crop. If you add irrigation, you can have 3 seasons in a year of a crop. And the thing is, if we can take advantage of Uganda's fertile soils and excellent climate, this is the thought. Could the UAE designate Uganda as its domestic food production zone? By the way, if we do this, you will get the 50% much sooner than 2051. And by 2051, you could be around 70% in terms of just being able to, because you've designated a certain region as your domestic food production zone. When you've done that, now this is where we come into play. The UAE, together with the local entities such as NAMCO, co-invest in various food chains value needed by the UAE. 3 weeks ago, as NSSF, with the support of His Excellency the President, took us 1.5 years to get it. We registered a subsidiary called NAMCO. And going to do just one thing, identify markets for Uganda produce. Negotiate the pricing, negotiate the quality, negotiate the quantity. Then come backwards and tell the farmers, here's a market for the UAE, they want tomatoes, they want guavas, they want beans. They want it in 6 months, in 9 months, in 12 months. This is the pricing. Now you grow. What we've just done is to bring certainty and predictability in Uganda's farmer. Now, if you're from the UAE, what NAMCO is doing is different. You come. Tell us what you need. Let's co-invest together. The key word is co-invest. We're not going to let you invest alone. No, you don't know the politics of our land. We will manage the politics for you. Whether it is land, whether it is labor, we'll manage that for you. We co-invest together. Then you have assurances that what you're producing belongs to you. And therefore, you've secured part of your food strategy 2051. The win-win is this. The UAE secures a reliable food supply partner. The win-win for Uganda is we accelerate our journey towards middle income status. Because when our farmers are able to produce to satisfy a market, their earnings will go higher. In fact, guys, in Uganda, if we get agriculture right, and the only problem in agriculture today is our market, we've left with this distorted. We can get with our 10-year strategic tenfold growth to $500 billion, not in 2040, but in 2035. If we get together and we get agriculture right in that case. So that's basically what my thoughts are. Thank you. Now, I'm going to say, if you're from the UAE and really interested in these partnerships to get you to grow processing agriculture, please talk to the ambassador or someone from the embassy. We'll come to the UAE, we'll come, we'll host you, we'll kick a few balls, because this could be part of how you secure your own food security. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick Ayota, for that insightful piece of presentation. I know we're supposed to be with the Honorable Prime Minister, who is on her way very shortly. And I've been informed that our next speaker, who is supposed to be the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, and the team are out to receive the Honorable Prime Minister. And that said, if we have those two speeches, then as you can see, there's a very huge setup here where the next session will take us into a panel discussion on enhancing trade and investment relations between the UAE and Uganda. That insightful conversation will also be happening. So I'll ask the team in the control to show us around Uganda as we wait for our next speaker.
Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, a land of beauty, culture, and opportunity. A fast emerging hub for world-class meetings, conferences, and events. Strategically located in the heart of East Africa, Uganda offers seamless accessibility and strong connectivity to regional and international destinations. The perfect setting for hosting your next big event. Our vibrant capital, Kampala, stands ready to welcome the world. From state-of-the-art conference venues to luxury accommodations, vibrant hospitality, efficient health systems, and seamless mobility, Uganda delivers world-class experiences with a uniquely African touch. Backed by strong government support and an investor-friendly climate, Uganda is seeing rapid growth in key sectors: agro-industry, tourism, mineral development, and innovation. Uganda is more than infrastructure and opportunity. It's an experience. A place where business blends with authenticity, and every handshake carries the warmth of African hospitality. Here, your event is more than a gathering. It's a journey, secure, scalable, and unforgettable. So, go beyond the ordinary. Meet, connect, explore. In Uganda, your premium MICE destination. Step into Uganda, the jewel so grand, where opportunities flow in all directions. All over the world, people ask themselves how bright Uganda shines with investment opportunities. Is it manufacturing, tourism, information, technology, or agriculture? Welcome. This is the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. Nestled in the heart of East Africa, Uganda is home to breathtaking landscapes, rich biodiversity, and a vibrant culture. But beyond its natural beauty, Uganda is rapidly emerging as an economic powerhouse. Uganda is a leading destination for foreign direct investment in Africa. Its open economy and dedication to investment support has been endorsed by investors as a winning formula to attract investment, ensure impact, and guarantee profits. Uganda has one of the biggest per capita users of mobile technology and is a hub of tech-driven solutions. A young, skilled and trainable population, the youngest in the world, is pushing the boundaries of technology and entrepreneurship.
We currently employ 200 Ugandans. Company is fully run by Uganda as much as it's owned by them. And we believe it will probably go up by about 20% to 30% once the production is fully up and running. We invested because we want to participate in Uganda's development. There are many tax incentives that allow an investor to compete and to benefit from investing in Uganda. We thank the government again through UAE's support for transitioning from importers and now purchasing from us. Right now, about our capacity utilization is about 70% of our current set capacity, and that has led us to now embark on an expansion project which is currently underway, and we are currently slated to complete all that by May, So in May, we will have about 1.5 times Uganda's need in terms of capacity for gloves. They supported us by providing confirmatory documentation to our financiers. They put us out there in the international market whenever they are doing their activities.
It is not just startups that are thriving here. Many major players in the tech world have set up shop here. We have seen tremendous growth in the tech industry. Uganda is not just catching up, it's leapfrogging into the future.
It started as a shop, an outlet shop, which was selling phones actually in downtown Kampala. We actually came up with an idea to see that we have a factory. We were provided with about 4 acres of land here at Namamve, where we actually established our factory, the first mobile phone and computer assembling and manufacturing factory here in Uganda. At our production capacity here is 2,500 pieces. We won as the best innovators in the whole world. We actually made a phone which had a thermometer temperature, whereby you could use that same phone to test your body temperature. Those were the days of COVID. With the support from Uganda Investment Authority, they actually established what they call tangible investment or incentives, which have been given to people who want to come and invest here in Uganda. So we have been riding on the available.
The power has given us a very brief would like to be part of the business-to-business conversation after our lunch. Kindly register near the NASA pull-up banner. There is a team that is registering. Anybody who is willing or intends to attend the business-to-business conversation after lunch. The guys in the control, please complete our video tour around Uganda.
Of those good incentives, which have actually supported us to expand our production and also our goods to most of the African countries. Because
Uganda's dedication to industrialization shines through its thriving manufacturing and agro-processing domains. With ample natural resources and a favorable climate, it stands as an ideal hub for these sectors. The conducive environment further enhances the growth prospects for products like avocados, coffee, pineapples, passion fruit, and watermelon.
We process mangoes from Kitigum or far north, starting from the Lango.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind free. Enjoy what's uniquely explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa. Uganda is building a new economy powered by science, technology and innovation. Through the Office of the President's Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, STI, Ugandan innovators are embracing Industry 4.0 plus, the technologies of the future to transform the economy today. One such project is the MDA Technology Support Project.
My name is Donna Sava and I'm the Senior Programs Manager at Hive Collab. Hive Collab did get into a consortium with the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat together with the Ministry of Internal Affairs to solve a major challenge of non-compliance under the Directorate of Immigration and Citizens Control under Ministry of Internal Affairs. The major problem of non-compliance was characterized by challenges of revenue losses and undocumented citizens. And in order to address this, Hive Collab worked together with Apprentice to develop a one-stop center platform that all these innovators can be able to access. At the same time, the staff at the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat can also be able to access and track progress, but also be able to address all these challenges.
Uganda is building a new economy powered by science, technology and innovation. Through the Office of the President's Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, STI, Ugandan innovators are embracing Industry 4.0 plus, the technologies of the future, the economy today. One such project is the MDA Technology Support Project.
My name is Donna Sava and I'm the Senior Programs Manager at Hive Collab. Hive Collab did get into a consortium with the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat together with the Ministry of Internal Affairs to solve a major challenge of non-compliance under the Directorate of Immigration and Citizens Control under Ministry of Internal Affairs. The major problem of non-compliance was characterized by challenges of revenue losses and undocumented. And in order to address this, Hive Collab worked together with Apprentice to develop a one-stop center platform that all these innovators can be able to access At the same time, the staff at the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat can also be able to access and track progress, but also be able to address all these challenges.
Uganda, a land of untapped beauty and endless opportunity. Under the visionary leadership of President Yoweri Museveni, Uganda has undergone a remarkable transformation, and today it has become a hub of innovation that is ready for investment. And at the forefront of this business renaissance stands the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. UNCCI is the heartbeat of Uganda's private sector, with almost a century of unwavering commitment to empowering its members and driving economic growth. Through its 5 pillars of promoting economic growth with an emphasis on value addition, UNCCI has created a vibrant and dynamic business ecosystem in Uganda. Uganda is more than just a destination for business opportunities. It's a melting pot of cultures and home to some of the most hospitable people on earth. You will experience firsthand the kindness and generosity of Ugandans, both in business and in everyday life. Whether you are a small or medium-sized enterprise, looking to scale up, a multinational corporation seeking new markets, or an investor seeking high returns and positive impact, Uganda and UNCCI have something for you. With its diverse range of sectors, including agriculture, innovation, and with the recent discovery of oil, the country's economic potential is only set to grow. As an active participant in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Uganda is at the forefront of Africa's economic integration. Located in the heart of East Africa, Uganda shares the largest strategic border, providing easy access to regional markets with a massive population of about 520 million people through its well-developed transport and communication networks. From the towering peaks of the Rwenzori Mountains to the pristine wilderness of windy Impenetrable National Park, home to over 50% of the world's mountain gorilla that call Uganda home, Uganda boasts of breathtaking natural wonders such as the Nile River, Lake Victoria, and a rich diversity of wildlife. This East African nation has emerged as a sole destination, thanks to attractions such as the tree-climbing lions of Ishasha, the rare species of chimpanzees and elephants that roam the Queen Elizabeth Gorge. Lake Bunyonyi and the Kazinga Channel boast of an abundance of rare bird species that even rival the famed Amazon forest. The markets of Uganda are a feast for the senses, with vibrant colors.
Do I say Mr. DJ or what do I call it? The moment we've been waiting for is now here. Our Right Honorable Prime Minister is with us, and we'll request that when she walks in, we'll just rise up and usher her in as she takes her seat, and thereafter we'll proceed with the program. So the Right Honorable Prime Minister is of some of the exhibition booths that are outside there. You could also use the opportunity during lunch break. Let's now rise up and welcome the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Honorable Robina Nabbanja. You're welcome. Right Honorable Prime Minister, you're welcome to the 4th edition of the UAE Uganda Business Forum. Just to highlight a few things that you could have missed early morning, we had some guest speakers from the director at NSSF. We had Uganda Investment Authority making a presentation. Our representative, His Excellency Zake Chibedi, the ambassador of the Republic of Uganda to the UAE, also did speak to us. And since I promised to teach our friends who have come from miles away some Luganda, when you're in a situation that has been holding you a little bit, and you finally find a way out, we normally say, ekibadde kikutte kati kitadde. Kati engeri Right Honorable Prime Minister gy'atuuse wano, ebitaala bitutadde. I would like to invite once again Ambassador Zake to proceed with the program. Okay, on your guidance, let's all rise up and we take the anthems and then proceed further with the program.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Yeah. Okay. You can kindly the control. Do we have the other anthem for the United Arab Emirates? Kindly. Thank you. Kindly take your seats as we wait to hear from the Ambassador Zake.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you to the 4th edition of the Uganda UAE Business Forum. On behalf of the Uganda Embassy in Abu Dhabi and the Consulate and the UAE Embassy in Kampala, I wish to thank you for always supporting the efforts of promoting economic and commercial diplomacy. Right Honorable, the first edition of this forum was held in 2022 in the United Arab Emirates, followed by the second edition, which was held here in 2023 and presided over by His Excellency the President. The third edition was in UAE, where you led the delegation from Uganda, and here we are today for the 4th edition. Right Honorable, today the delegation from UAE is led by the Deputy Head of Mission, UAE Embassy in Kampala, and also we have the Director General, His Highness Sultan, the Director General for Fujairah Chamber of Commerce. We also have the Director for East Africa, Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and the Director East Africa, Sharjah Chamber of Commerce. With them, they are accompanied by 30 companies from the United Arab Emirates, focusing on sectors of agriculture, tourism development, minerals development, oil and gas, science and technology, and it's why for this session, before we invited the Minister for Science and Innovation to inform our guests about what, and even Ugandans, about what her ministry is doing to facilitate the transformation of this economy. Right Honorable Ministers, you've been following the story of UAE and Uganda never cease to be progressive. From 2018 to now, we've been sharing statistics. The trade portfolio between UAE and Uganda was worth $600 million in 2018. It has now grown more than 3 times to 2.85 billion. The investments have grown from $300 million to 3.5 billion. That is over 10 times. And also, the UAE people are very hospitable and kind. They've facilitated the increase of Ugandans living and working there from 40,000 to over 160,000. Madam Right Honorable, is the reason why the remittances by Ugandans from the UAE has grown from $50 million to $350 million. I was told when we led the delegation from the UAE in August for one of the meetings they had with Bank of Uganda, that now the remittances from UAE to Uganda are amongst the top 3. So that is how important and interesting the relationship is between Uganda and the United Arab Emirates. Right Honorable, you directed us that as you implement the PDM program, we should prepare the market for the Ugandan products, and indeed we've done this. That's why the chambers are here today. And I would like to assure you that, Right Honorable, if we can work on the challenges we are having for our products, the consistency on quality and quantity, we can grow the market of UAE 10 times. So if the government and the private sector can resolve this problem, then we shall not have any problem of finding market for the PDM products. Without taking more of your time, Right Honorable, I already made my speech. Allow me to invite the Minister for Science and Technology to tell us about the role of government in facilitating economic transformation through science and technology, And in turn, after her presentation, she will invite you to speak to the audience, to make your keynote address. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the ambassadors of Uganda to UAE and UAE to Uganda, the heads of chambers who are here, the 3 chambers, our business leaders from the UAE who are visiting, and the business leaders in Uganda. It's a great honor for me to be here to share with you what we have been doing in Uganda and what we are presenting for our collaborative efforts here. Thank you very much for inviting us and coming here so that we can share. Uganda is always looking out for good friends. So I have a presentation. Could you kindly put the presentation? So thank you so much. It is so I was requested to speak about government or the role that we are positioned to play in science, technology, and innovation. And I have simplified this definition for us because it's the functional definition. We as scientists who don't understand a lot of the economics, this is what we use. How about economy? That this is how society creates, shares, and manages value. And I think that is why we are here. How do we create more value? How do we share the value? And how do we manage it so that it grows? When Honorable Anita was here speaking, and she was talking about the investment that we can make in Uganda, to an extent that you can take back your profit, but at the same time that investment helps the growth of the economy of Uganda, is because the investment, especially through the knowledge economy, the science, technology, and innovation, it expands the value which is existing in the raw materials that we have. And so science, technology, and innovation helps us to lift productivity, something which we would have all used at $5, we can get $20 out of it, because science, technology injects these intangible ideas from our minds, and it causes us to release more value. So then it is, if we have enhanced the value from 5 to 20, then the 15 will help the investor to have a profit and also the nation to grow. And it creates new industries, and of course these industries create opportunity. The industries do not only avail technology to the host nation, but they also avail technology to other nations cheaply, especially if our ecosystem is giving you production of those industrial products at a cheaper value. But it also helps the nation that you invest in to have power to participate in the global affairs, because it is a source of something. And so we have two sides of the economy. And when we are talking about science technology, we want to avail technology. This technology will be present in the nation where we are producing it. And that means we support the infrastructure, we create platforms, especially when we are talking about digital technologies, but even the other, what we call atomic technologies, the other ones are electronic. It avails devices that people can use to enhance productivity. It also enhances the innovation to create more value on top of the value, and then it creates skills and grows the human nations. We'll be saying we are able to build the railways and the vehicles. But we also look at the economy part of it, because you can produce those things and not help your economy. By creating value, growing the GDP of this nation, by creating jobs, by bringing wealth, creating the millionaires, also that who drive, wherever there is a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, they modify that ecosystem around them. It brings active trade, it enhances taxation so that government can have more resources to invest, and also creates sovereignty such that we can build. So science, technology, and innovation does grow. The role of the state now, I shift to that. Unlike many natural things which exist, STI is artificially imposed. And I don't think there is an example of a nation that has imposed the STI and transformed themselves than UAE. I think this is the best ecosystem for us to exist. STI helps you to overcome the natural limitations, the climatic limitations, the technological limitations, and it just opens up. So STI never grows by chance. It is not just watered by rain from above or incubated by the existing heat. It's an artificial creation that emerges from the brain. And so the state, any nation, must lead. The state must lead. The state leads even in the funding, because I've read a lot of the story. I've read a lot of books about Dubai, about UAE. I've read a lot of books, so most of the books that have been published by your leaders I've read. And there has been intentional creation of these things. You also protect and you also direct the strategic direction. So you'll find that it is not necessarily nations which are endowed with natural wealth which become leading, but those who intentionally impose science, technology, and innovation to do two things. One, to overcome their limitations, which were not provided by nature. But two, to enhance and multiply the value of whatever resources that you have. So without the leadership of the state, no nation can become industrial, because the output of science, technology, and innovation is largely industries. So without that intentional leadership and purpose of the nation, it becomes very difficult for us to... So nations that have leaped from low income to high productivity did so by treating science and technology as a strategic asset. If you treat it as something which is luxury, which is for others, we continue to lag behind, because it has to be intentionally placed at the front line. How do you present this intentionally on the front line? There are four major categories of the role of the state. Four major categories. These are broad, but I have categorized it for the sake and then for us to discuss, to present to you what Uganda is positioning for, has positioned for, and where the partnerships can come. One, the nation must set mission. You must direct, because as I've said, this is intentional. It is not by nature. It is intentionally imposed to enhance and multiply what you have, but also to subdue and even take advantage in areas which you don't have. So the country should choose the major industrial or technological objectives and align the ecosystem. When we do that as a nation, then we will move. And I have, in all my studying, I have not seen any nation which has moved just by leaving independent businesses or what. The businesses happen in the context of guidance by the nation. The second role is to de-risk. Because science, technology, and innovation is not saying that, oh, you know, you see Uganda, we have fertile soils, come and grow this, and an individual can come. Science and technology is doing what is unnatural. And you know, society has categorized the nations, and sometimes in the times of natural, they have assigned us what to do. In Uganda, we are rebelling. Give us advantage. And if UAE had obeyed those assignments, we wouldn't be meeting here to talk. So I think we are joining you in the rebellion. It really exists, and million people. It's a good startup market. But we are also part of East Africa. East Africa is over 300 million people. And we're also part of East and Central. We are part of this continental free trade area on Africa. So that creation of market is the role of government to have economic diplomacy and set conditions which attract. This toolbox for all nations to make sure that we are moving and we are ready for technology usually includes one, the mission programs, and we have defined that. I'll share with you shortly. Publicly funded R&D, which is ongoing massively. It's among the priorities. Strategic procurement, that one we are working on it. Policies before cabinet and parliament. The patient capital. Patient capital is where we would like a lot of partnership. I heard here when Ambassador Chibedi was presenting, talking about affordable capital, and also when my colleague, the Minister of Investment, was saying we need this access to this. Standards and certifications, skill alignment, and export diplomacy, these are the critical areas that we are working on. We have benchmarked on a number of institutions and a number of countries to make sure that we are speaking a language which is known, and we have taken extensive benchmarking. We have studied UAE extensively. We have studied USA, Germany, Japan, and many others. We've studied over 30 economies to make sure that when we prepare the ground for collaboration and investment, it is a sound ground. Then we have now, based on that foundation, we have defined Mission Uganda. That's the first role of the state. What's the Mission Uganda? Led by His Excellency, the President. We have defined our mission in more detail than I can share here, but strategically, this is how he has guided us. Mission Uganda is to have a science-led modernization of the nation before 2040. We sing this every day. We are speaking it. We are now teaching it in school. This is the national drive. All of us, we are all headed to this. We need a science-led modernization of the nation. And modernization has been defined. Right Honorable, I was informed that the UAE has already passed our target. And we cannot have a better partner than this. Not only have they passed, but they have done it recently. The individuals who have done it are around. They are able to share with us. We have gone to certain nations. They are willing, but the individuals who did it are long gone. And the ones who are living in it don't remember how to deal with economies like ours. But we believe that among the UAE are people who have seen this, they have lived it, and they are not able only to provide the collaboration, but advisories and counseling to us. And this is how we have defined it in terms of trajectory. When we did this curve, we were growing our economy at 6%. It is now reached 7%. Now, we want to attain what is known as the qualitative leap as the vessel that is carrying us to the 550 billion by 2040. His Excellency is actually committed to make sure that we hit that target before 2040. And we believe that we can do it. But for purposes of communication, that is what, so we are taking off. We are having a qualitative leap, and science, technology, and innovation is the vessel that is going to take us there. And for this, the first, National Development Plan for the next 5 years, I think we've finished 1 year. That's why you see the acceleration. We have defined these 4 sectors which they have been presenting to you. We call them ATMs. Like we go to the ATM, but it's the agro-industrialization, tourism, minerals development, and science, technology, and innovation, which includes ICT and the creative sectors of the economy. And so the STI, the science and technology, is not only creating new sectors, but infusing itself in these 3, primarily these 3, to make, because it is the catalyst, it is the one that will add on the other layers. To do this, we have already defined a few things. We have set a vision, and we are working on it. This is our vision as science, technology, and innovation. We want, or we are working on, not that we want, but we are actively working on it 24 hours a day to make this part of Africa the best, most technologically advanced, and most innovative nation in the region. It's not just some slogan. It's a lifestyle. We live it like a lifestyle. Actually, I think my staff, I have only one here, he's disappointed that I'm not wearing the emblem. So we live it, we work it, and we are here to say this one here. And Right Honorable Prime Minister, this has started showing up on the continent. We are increasingly being recognized. Although before we started this purposeful drive, we were known as the underdogs. But right now, Uganda is like a shining light that is rising on the continent. Right Honorable Prime Minister, recently during the UNGA, we received an international award for excellence in public administration as science, Uganda's science, technology, and innovation. And there are many meetings, people now coming from all over the continent to benchmark. And so in this, doing the best, His Excellency created a structure where we don't have one sector, but we have a system that brings together all the different components. As you see in, oh, sorry, I'm not moved. Okay, the president himself created this system, which is seated in the office of the president, so that we can link with every sector. We can link with academia, we can link with the businessmen, we can link with development partners, we can link with our education system, and it has rapidly accelerated science in Uganda. This is a very unique system that science is not seen as a peer sector to all others, but is seen as a coordinative and facilitative system which has broken down greatly the bureaucratic barriers that limit many countries when they want. And this has greatly accelerated our work. The next thing we have done in this mission is we have defined our strategy for the qualitative leap, not only to create the new sectors, but also to support the traditional sectors. And for our colleagues from UAE, this time we are going to participate in the Gulf Food Expo, bringing you delicacies from Uganda, organically grown, carefully value added with a great quality. We are going to be participating in that expo early next year. So in our strategy, we have two things that the way we are approaching science, creating economies, creating new sectors of the economy, which hitherto we had been told that we should not participate in because we had some advantages somewhere, because we have rain, but we realized that caps very early. So we are creating new sectors, and I'm going to share with you quickly. Then we are adding value. Uganda has been known, actually we were lost in the abyss as coffee growers. When we looked on the market, there was no Ugandan coffee. There is no coffee grown elsewhere in the world like the coffee that grows here. Because it's at the equator, but the equator is on a plateau. It creates a fantastic ecosystem which cannot be replicated anywhere. So coffee made in Uganda is very high value, very unique, but it was being lost. Now we are presenting of coffee from the Pearl of Africa. The rest of the pillars are areas of investment which we shall discuss. So which areas have we focused on for the new economy? Mobility. And I know you have heard about the first electric vehicle manufacturing facility in Uganda, and we think it is the largest, most capable, most competent facility on the continent that produces electric buses, state of the art. This facility is fully functional for our location. Uganda in the health sector is never boring. There is always something happening here. Initially, we looked at pathogens as great enemies. We are now thinking that God gave us the pathogens so that we can develop tools for the world. So we are developing an economy around it. And again, if you have some time here, we'll be happy to exhibit to you the largest pharmaceutical campus on the continent of Africa. It is here in Uganda, just a few kilometers from here in Matuga. Ambassador Chibedi, I'm not sure you are aware of this facility. It's truly a wonder, and our guests who are willing to go there, it's called Day Biopharma. It is a point of investment. And we have built it to be of international capacity and a CDMO, such that we will produce medicines which are cheaper for the rest of the world, but they are distributable all over the world. The third sector, which is new, is the aeronautics and space. And we have a lot of advantage being where we are located geographically, and we want to harness it to build the space industry. Making components, and also because the best place to launch spacecrafts is around the equator. Infrastructure innovations is to do with our engineering, to to develop engineering capacity so that we can support all the investments. And the last one is the Industry 4.0 Plus. I'll show you briefly. Let me not take too much time so that I have time to show you. So we have priorities that we are ready to share. We have legacy pathfinder projects that are ready for investment. They are ready for investment. We have infrastructures that we have set up. We have set up pilot infrastructures throughout the areas of priority. We are now moving to the secondary manufacturing and large-scale manufacturing. I'll be sharing the specifics in a minute. Then there are new areas of research. If there are companies that are interested in R&D, we'll be happy to partner, and then developing our human capital. I told you we have them abundantly, but we need to make sure that we are developing. For traditional, like the agriculture, there is no place good for agriculture like this piece of real estate. There is nowhere in the world that is as good for agriculture like here. Actually, for us, naturally, just throw seeds and then you go and harvest. But if you put in a bit of science, so organic, pure, it's just here. So we are prioritizing making sure that we add value to these products so that we can avail you the richness of them. So building factories for value addition, market entry, standards is a priority. So in terms of de-risking, our investments, these are some of the things that we're sharing capacities so that you can check how does it work? What's the cost of production? Do they have human capacity? And we have tested some of these and we'll be sharing with you. So we'll put out some industrial parks. We have some core manufacturing, like for the electric vehicles, for pharmaceuticals. We have the biggest and first banana flour manufacturing facility. I think it could be in the world because we are the biggest producers of matoke. Other people do other bananas. We do this special. So it is used in fighting obesity and diabetes, and also it has a very special quality. It's the happiness food. When you eat it, you feel happy. Please. And it is all scientific. Approach me so that I tell you the science. But it is scientific. I'm the chief scientist, so I'm assuring it is scientific. When you eat matoke, you don't feel so stressed. We're also setting up special economic zones, and we're inviting you to come and invest in this. Government has acquired land to put up a high-tech city. We want investors to come. It is very, very strategically positioned between the airport and the city. So it's very strategically positioned. We have an automotive industrial park, 2 square miles. We want people in the automotive industries to come and put up. We have a biosciences park, which I didn't put here. People in the pharmaceutical industry will give you land to come and invest. The government policy here is when you come, we give you the land. So you don't have to struggle where to put the investment. But also in investing in the general infrastructure, the high-tech city is going to run as a corporation. And I think people from UAE, you really understand how these cities work and the value for importation. And these are going to be special economic zones. In terms of policy and regulation to make sure that you invest in a good area, government has made sure we have rule of law. This is the most peaceful country in this area. Not only peaceful today, but guaranteeing peace for a long time. So security is guaranteed. We protect investors. My colleague already described this for you. And the special economic zones, special tax issues and conditions, and the sandbox environments. In terms of de-risking investments, We have funds of fund structures to support local VC. Government has started putting some money, so we have worked through the issues that would be difficult for foreigners to come. We are happy to share with you instruments to de-risk foreign direct investments. The sovereign guarantees are in place. And we also provide direct grants to make sure that our innovators have bypassed those initial stages, high-risk stages, where we can pick up. In terms of capacity, to make sure that you'll find human capital, and this is the biggest advantage, that will give your production to be at a lower cost and give us market advantage all over the world. We have programs that are building rapidly the local human capital. Already we have the basic education, we have basic science, and we are working on several programs. One is known as rapid conversion, where we get people who have already got an education, immerse them into a hands-on skilling, and they come out excellent. And then we have programs that we bring in diaspora. For a while, many of these people went out, and they are coming back, and we have instituted a special program to enable them to come back. And then the last one is to create a market. The country has made deliberate efforts for local procurement to give you the initial offtake, to give our investments the initial offtake. And we also are working to have export support, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the embassies, and we have economic diplomacy. We have this moving and supported by government. So this trade diplomacy, subsidized trade missions like this, the government has positioned to make sure that new products can get to be known. And then branding and marketing. Government is supporting the branding and marketing. So with the UAE, finally, what do we have to offer? What can we do together? Joint venture plants. In all these economic zones, we have acquired the land. We need investors to come and invest in the science, technology. The biopharma is ready for investment. The banana projects, the FLY is ready for investment. The high-tech city is ready for investment. And the industrial parks for mass production. What's happening there? Then the trade logistics. We would like to move in trade logistics, and the biggest, of course, is project financing. If we can access funds to fund these projects, my anchor person in project financing, David, please stand up so that everybody knows whom to go to. David Gonahasa. He's over there, he's behind there, he's branded so he can't get lost. He has a shirt which says, "Making Uganda the best." These are things that we can work through together. And so for the call of action for all of us, government, investors, industry, markets, we really need market entry. Having not been in value-added market, we face a lot of barriers. And we believe that if we work with you and the products are meeting UAE standards, they will be more easily accepted on the market. So the outcome is going to be a competitive Uganda that we are all proud of, and a release of a lot of wealth from the pearl, which was described by Churchill. I would like to request for just one little video for you to see what I am talking about. Play some, but they are very, very short. for you to just visualize, and maybe I can attract you to visit us before you leave. We'll be able to
Liberty TV. Your window to the world.
The largest, most capable, and most competent bus manufacturing plant on the African continent. With uninstalled here, precision engineering meets cutting-edge technology to create the robust foundation of every Kayola bus. Welcome to the chassis line at the Kira Vehicle plant, where the foundation of durability and strength is built. This is where critical components are installed, ensuring the long-lasting reliability of the Kayola buses. Welcome to the quality inspection and testing facility at the Kira Vehicle plant, where every Kayola bus undergoes rigorous testing. Here, we ensure that each bus meets 100% of our stringent quality standards, delivering safety, reliability, and excellence to our customers. The Kira Vehicle plant has a waste management plant that handles waste segregation, recycling, hazardous material treatment, and water waste processing. It also tracks waste data, trains employees, and promotes sustainability while meeting environmental compliance standards.
Uganda is building a new...
Because of time, we may not show, but we have a deep tech center where we manufacture electronics, and we have developed our AI platforms, cloud, sovereign cloud, and quite a lot of things. And then I've told you we have the pharmaceuticals, which is also a detailed value chain and the space because of time. But if you are interested, we'll be very happy to set up a smaller group and we'll show you. I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I would like to take this opportunity now to invite this special lady. She's indeed very special. She's a very special type of prime minister because she's a prime minister of the people. Many Ugandans say that she has demystified the position because, and sometimes here they call her the heavy-duty vehicle. She navigates every space. I'm definitely very, very proud to serve under her. Right Honorable Nabanja, come and address your people.
Thank you so much. I also appreciate the Chambers of Commerce from UAE for their regular trade missions to Uganda, aimed at identifying investment and partnership opportunities for the private sectors of our two sister countries. Of 6 memoranda of understanding between our two countries covering critical areas: investment, capacity building, energy, transport, ICT, and the waiver of visa requirements. That was a very big milestone. And to me, these to sustainable development and social economic of this conducive environment. The UAE has now become Uganda's largest export destination, with bilateral trade reaching US dollars 2.85 billion. I believe you have already been told about this. In addition, the value of UAE investment in energy, infrastructure, healthcare, agribusiness, oil and gas, manufacturing, real estate, tourism has reached US dollars 3.5 billion. Allow me at this material time to inform you why Uganda is the best investment destination in it. Rapidly growing economy in the world. And according to IMF, Uganda has the most stable currency on the continent as I speak now. The Uganda shilling remains one of the most